So I just want to probably quickly introduce us to angles, pairs in parallel lines cut by a transversal. So what do you understand by a transversal? A transversal is a line that crosses parallel lines to create pairs of congruent and supplementary angles. So they say that two angles are supplementary, which means that the sum of those two angles is equal to 180 degrees. So for example, if they say that something is congruent, which means that they're gonna have the same measurement. And then of course, as I said, if they say something is supplementary, which means those angles are gonna add up to 180 degrees. And then in probably like in today's lectures, I will just be introducing us to one of the theorem that we can use for these two parallel lines and the transversal line. So I'm going to break this video into different videos, so that every video I do will be able to understand what's going on. So the first one I wanted to talk about is something called corresponding angles. So let's talk about corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. So looking at that diagram right there, so in fact looking at the word corresponding, so from the word corresponding, which means that probably you will have an idea that that angle, that it will lie on the same side of that transversal and on the same side of that parallel line. So looking at that word corresponding, so as I said again, that angle that lies on the same side of the transversal and on the same side of the line. So in summary, this means that this angle are on the same corners and they are congruent, which means congruent in the sense that they have the same measurement. So in summary, if you don't like all the words that I use right now and then you're confused by that word, remember this. So if they say corresponding, one of the angles would be outside and one of the angles would be inside. So if I say an angle is inside, it means interior angle. If I say an angle is outside, it means an exterior angle. So for example, a quick example would be this angle right here, which is outside, would be corresponding to this angle which is inside. Don't forget what I said. They will be on the same side of that, that transversal line. So these two angles would be congruent. So for example, if this angle is A, this angle will be A too. Another quick example would be if I also have this angle right here to be B, then this angle is inside, then it will be corresponding to this angle right here. So they will be the same. And in fact, which means that angle A is equals to angle A right there too. So they are the same. On these two sides, they will be the same. So which means that, and then in fact, in summary, the easiest way to write it is if this angle right here is 30, let's say if this angle right here is 30, of course this angle right here too will be 30. So let's look at this example real quick. So we're going to see this example real quick. And then this example, we just talked about, corresponding angles. And then in summary, I said that, corresponding angles, the way to remember it is that one angle would be, inside, and then the other one will be outside, and they will be on the same side, right? So looking at this, you have one angle inside, and the angle inside is, 72, and the angle outside would be 8. So in that case, and they are on the same side. So if I ask you what is the type of this, angle pair, then we'd say these angle pairs, they are, corresponding. So this is corresponding. And then, these angles are congruent. So these angles are congruent. And then as I said the meaning of congruent means that they will have the same measurement, which means they will be the same. So in this case, our answer now would be my x is gonna be equals to 72. It will be equals to 72. Now let's see another good example. We're gonna take it slow and let's see another good example. So another good example is this one right here. So first of all, we need to identify type of angle pair. So first of all, do you see an angle that is inside? Of course, I see an angle that is inside, and that angle is 11x minus 2. And then, of course, I see an angle that is outside too, which is 75. And are they on the same side? Yes, they are on the same side. So what type of angle pair is that? Those are corresponding. So we say these are corresponding. And then what do we talk about corresponding angles? We said corresponding angles, they are congruent. They are congruent, which means they will have the same measurement, which means that solving this question, we know that it will be 11x minus 2 is equals to 75. And then now we can solve this two-step equation. First of all, what do I need to do? I can add 2 to both sides. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. Then I'll have 11x is equals to 77. Now I want to solve for x, and then I can divide both sides by 11. So I will divide both sides by 11, and then I know that my x is going to be equals to 7. So which means that if I go back here and then put 7 right there, let's see if we're going to get 75. Of course, we're going to get 75 because 11 times 7, that's 77. 77 minus 2, that would also give us 75. Thank you. See you in the next video.